I definitely prefer to play my video games on a home console, PC, or arcade machine, with either controller or joystick and buttons. But sometimes a very interesting mobile exclusive game comes around that I really want to try out, but it disappoints me that I can't play it the way that I want to. So I've been hard at work on a mobile games wheel on my Arcade 1 Hyperspin build, so that way I can try out some of these mobile exclusive games with joystick and buttons or a controller on a larger screen, just the way that I want to. So in this video, I play the brand new Metal Slug Awakening on my home arcade with joystick and buttons. I show you how to map it, tell you the pros and cons, and give you a taste of what the arcade classic plays like as a mobile game on my home arcade. So sit back and enjoy. This is my current theme for the mobile games wheel, which is the colorful theme by Viking. I may create my own later, but this definitely works for now. To run these mobile games on your PC, you use a program called Bluestacks. It's an Android-based program that runs through Google Play Store. So you can log into your account, keep your progress from not only your arcade gameplay, but also if you go on the go with your phone if you'd like. It's connected online, so you can play PvP, make your in-game purchases, and pretty much do whatever you can on your mobile phone. There are multiple versions of Bluestacks, and not all the games are supported. So let's enter the mobile games wheel, which I will cover the entire wheel and all the games in a future video. And I also had to create all these themes myself for the mobile games because I didn't find any that were available. Let's boot up Metal Slug Awakening, and you'll see the entire boot up process as it opens up Bluestacks and automatically does the update and install. This is my first time doing the booting process, so I'm going to fast forward this because the install times can take a little bit. Once the game is finally installed and updated, you get this nice CGI cutscene in the background, and you can sign in as a guest or use your Facebook or Google account. If you ever want to delete the recent update and repair the game, click here and hit repair. If Bluestacks doesn't automatically boot in full screen mode, you can always hit F11 on your keyboard. Alright, I'm going to sign into Google and we're going to get started. It will have you log in with your username and password, and then you can select which server you want to be on and tap start with your right click on your mouse. You'll actually need to use your mouse and keyboard for this initial phase, but I'll show you when and how to change the controls so that way you can play with your joystick and buttons or your controller. Alright, let's watch the opening cutscene.
Soldiers, the infamous Marco Rossi is done for this time. Our tide of steel is unstoppable. We'll usher forth a new world of freedom and justice.
Will our tide of steel be enough to beat Marco?
They seem stronger than the Martians, at least. Who cares? Cheers!
What, no drink for me?
Heavy machine
Relax, I got ya!
Thank you.
Help, my precious!
A fight?
Why didn't you call?
Chop chop! Let's wrap this up!
Metal Slug.
I thought this was the character select screen, but I guess this is just the loading screen. So we're going to default as Marco for the first playable character of the game, it looks like.
Mission start.
The game starts off typical Metal Slug style with the mission start. Because this is a mobile game, it uses touch controls by default and recommends using the auto aim. You can map the manual aim as well on your arcade control panel to a second joystick. However, that is a little cumbersome because you do have to use a lot of the buttons, so I recommend using the auto aim. Now to map your controls. Open the controls editor by clicking on the far right of the screen and clicking on the keyboard icon. I click on the on-screen controls toggle while I map, and then select the keyboard instead of the controller and click on Open Advanced Editor. Once you're in the Advanced Editor, you can map your touch inputs to joystick and arcade buttons. Click and drag the D-pad icon over to the left where the touch controls are. Then click on each direction and move your Player 1 joystick in the corresponding direction. Then you can click and drag the tap spot to the rest of the touch inputs. And again, click on the tap spot and click on whichever button on your arcade control panel you want to be the shoot button. Repeat this process for grenades, jump, any specials, and any additional inputs that are added as you progress through the game. Once you're satisfied, go ahead and hit the save button in the lower right hand corner. Then you can also close out of the controls editor with the upper right X. If you want the overlays to appear on the screen, you're done. I prefer to hide them, so I go back into the menu and toggle off the on-screen controls. Alright, back to it. And remember, if you ever do need to go into full screen, you can always hit the F11 key. Alright, now my controls are working left and right, my shooting's working, and I can throw some grenades. So I'm ready to rock and roll. This game has alternate weapons to pick up, just like the other Metal Slug games. However, all of your typical mobile trappings come into play later on with this game, having to collect resources and power up your weapons, which I'm not a big fan of, but it is what it is. I must say the graphics are outstanding in this game. There are 4 different settings: low, medium, high, and ultra. I had the graphics set on ultra for the longest time, but I did have a cutscene crash on me, so I decided to bump them down to high, and I still think they look great.
Medkits can restore HP. Use one if you're injured.
So I just picked up another touch control spot for my medkits. You can always use your mouse and click on it if you're in a pinch, but I try to map as many as I can to my arcade control panel buttons, so that way when I get to a good spot, I'll pop open the control editor, drag over a tap button, and input my control button that I want to use for my medkit spot. So as you can tell, using my joystick and my buttons on my arcade control panel, working really well here. I'm jumping around, dodging all these missiles, firing up at these enemies, and getting the power-ups. Now that I finally had a moment to breathe, I went ahead and mapped the medkits to my control panel buttons, but I'm going to skip ahead because you can always reference earlier in the video where I show you how to do that. Just drag the tap buttons where you want to put it and input the button on your control panel. So I just died, and I have a free respawn available in this opening level, but be careful because later on, you do have to use currency to respawn. Vehicles are a staple of the Metal Slug franchise, so I'm glad to see the vehicles make a triumphant return. Alright, boss fight time. Notice the numerous colored health bars that you need to take down in order to finally take out the boss. And also notice in the lower right hand corner, the touch buttons have different icons next to them. That's because you're in a mobile tank and you have different weapons available to you. But do notice that they are in the same location, so you do not need to remap them in the control editor. And another perk of driving in the tank is you have a lot more hits. Marco only had 3 hits available before he died, whereas the tank has 9. Alright, took him down. Mission complete. Let's gather our rewards and move on to the next stage.
Mission complete!
Wow, what on earth is that?
Target located. Transferring Donald Mode.
My backup horse is here. See ya!
The King of Caboose is returned.
Nightmares will appall below.
Thinking of running? You could forget it.
Love these cinematic cutscenes. I'm gonna jump around to a few more things before I finish up this video. I skipped some in-between interlude parts where you talk to characters and you hunt for resources to get back into the action. Here's a boss fight where it talks about weak points where you can deal extra damage to them. Notice how the background music's no longer playing? It seemed like it just dropped out there. I'm not sure if that was intentional, if that's an issue with the game itself, or if it's an issue with Bluestacks. Either way, it's not ideal, but definitely keep note that little things like that can happen.
Come on, boy.
There's definitely some pros and cons to this boss battle right here. On one hand, he has 10 health bars to whittle down with my weak guns, so I'm assuming later on it's going to be heavily encouraged to power up my weapons and to spend real money or grind to do so, which I'm definitely not a fan of. However, on the other hand, it is kind of cool that the boss keeps pulling out these new weapons and power-ups, multiple phases, so that's kind of neat.
Bullet time!
So that was my special attack that I mapped down below, and each character has their own unique special attack. Ooh, I just died there. And notice the respawn tokens? So again, those are going to come into play. I don't know how stingy this game's going to be with those.
Come on. See you in hell.
I finally took down that lengthy boss battle, and now it's time to collect my rewards and move on to the next mission. However, the cutscene did freeze on me because I did have the settings on the ultra settings on Bluestacks, so I did have to force quit out, change the graphic settings to high, and it seemed to work just fine. It saved my progress, and so you may have to go into Bluestacks and mess around with the settings a little bit to get them optimal for your situation. And like most mobile games, you're going to collect a ton of different gear and accessories that you can equip on all your different characters. And this gear and accessories, they're going to be slightly better versions of what you previously had. But if you want to keep up with the game, you have to keep getting better and better gear. So I'm going to equip that right here. And then while I'm in the character select screen, I'm going to quickly go through each of the different unlockable characters and their stylish intro sequences. There's some pretty cool characters here, but I'm sure they're going to be a grind or they're going to be encouraged to pay money to get them.
Check out my masterpiece!
Wanna beat me?
Huh. Not a chance!
Combat mode activated.
Break out! You're surrounded!
I will end this pointless fight at once!
I smell you. A shark never lets go of its prey.
What's the new plan?
All this back and forth is a waste of time.
Go! Face the sun, and your shadow will stay behind.
行くぜ。
Good food is its own reward!
To a better tomorrow for the children.
You ready for this?
Everyone is alone in this world. I'm fine, all good.
If you were paying attention as I flipped through the characters, in the lower right hand corner it mentions how to unlock each character. Some of them you need to do treasure digs, other limited time events. Theo here, you need to gain 150 trust points by talking to her and answering the correct answer. Just like this.
Thank goodness you're okay. You lost contact with us in the thundercloud. We were worried sick.
No big deal. How'd you know I was here?
It was that strange lightning that hit the Morden army barracks. Only Kamut experienced the same phenomenon.
I'm assuming the top choice complimenting her analysis will gain the trust points that I'm looking for. Let's try that.
Very kind of you. Wait, am I not the only captain of the Sparrows? Have you found the cause of this lightning strike?
I saw the guy who summoned it. He saved Morden.
Oh, they're friends. No wonder there are so many Morden troops around here.
Speaking of the Morden army, they'll be back any second. We better go.
Let's bring this miner with us. I saw him being chased by a bunch of Morden's men earlier.
This man looks familiar. Sure, let's go.
And now I'm going to jump ahead, show off a little bit of level variety where you're doing this minecart level where you're dodging obstacles and collecting gems. Alright, another cool boss battle. Although I'm going to keep this video moving, so I'm going to skip ahead because I still want to show you another cool cutscene, show you a retro mission, and also how to swap characters in and out.
Being dissipated, slowly but surely, the dark force awakened. The lava gem inflamed the very earth. The purification gem became blacker than black. The Volt Gem manifested the commandments of the desert. The Gravity Gem belonged to the last Guardian.
And we finally unlocked this massive map with multiple areas and boss battles to go to, similar to Super Metroid or Shadow Complex. And now I'm going to try to unlock Theo as a character, as I almost have her trust all the way built up.
Wasn't messing with me.
He told you to dig for bazookas? Here?
Yeah. He said the bazookas were buried in hot soil. Hard to believe there's such a huge lava pool under Kamut.
Theo likes flattery, so I'm going to say the bazooka is so cool, I want it too.
Simple. You bring me along, and I'll bring all the bazookas.
You.
Come on. I won't slow you down.
Don't get me wrong, I'm flattered. You are my best intel chief. Okay. Theo, welcome to the team.
I'm fine, all good.
So Theo joins the team as an unlockable character. You can now switch between Marco and Theo with the press of a button. Just remember to go into Bluestacks, the control editor, and map which button you want that to be. Theo not only has a different weapon, the rocket launcher, but her special moves are different as well.
The T2B Melty Honey is hard to cut. Nice hit! The wound stake dealt massive damage to the T2B Melty Honey.
Another really cool thing about this game is the Flashback Mode, which has levels that pop up throughout the map that lets you replay certain missions from previous Metal Slug games, like Spaceport Battle from Metal Slug 3.
Mission start!
Any Metal Slug fan will remember these flying missions are a lot of fun in the previous games, so it's really cool to do these with your joystick and buttons on your home arcade. And while I haven't played long enough to get to the shop, the daily challenges, the PvP, or any of that yet, I'm sure all that stuff's right around the corner, and if you're a big fan of that sort of stuff, it's all gonna be here. So I'm gonna finish this video with one last cutscene, hinting at the future of what's to come in this game, before I wrap this video up.
Those who cast greedy eyes upon the gems shall be punished by the gods. Mortal, you best mind yourself.
So there's your taste of Metal Slug Awakening, a mobile game being played with joystick and buttons on my home arcade. It takes a little bit to get set up with Bluestacks, and not every game's gonna work, and you may have to adjust some settings, but I think it's a lot of fun to play some of these mobile games with joystick and buttons on my home arcade. I have a full wheel of these type of games that I enjoy playing this way, so let me know in the comments down below. What games would you like to see next? What are some of your favorite mobile games? Would you like to play some of these games on Bluestacks with joystick and buttons or a controller? And if you liked the video, remember to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out. And ring that notification bell so you stay up to date with all my future videos. Thank you for all of your support. I really appreciate it. And remember, we're in the endgame now.